probably watching this video because our office has sent you form interrogatories. These are questions that have been sent to us that the opposing side wants to know about you and your case. This is part of the process of discovery. These and some other documents may have been received by you. Now, what I need you to do is I need you to answer these questions as best as you can. This video is going to help you go through that process so that you can be as accurate as possible and provide us the information we need to help you in your case. So the first thing I want you to focus on is only the questions that are marked with a check. Anywhere there's a check, those are the questions you're going to respond to. If you don't see a check in the box, don't answer the question. For example, if you're an individual, then the questions are going to probably be marked along 2.0 because that's for individuals. And the questions in 3.0 are not going to be marked because that's for business. So look carefully at the box and only respond to those questions. Now, oftentimes, because this form is 8 pages long and it's small print, people get a little concerned about how to do this. It's not very difficult. And so I'm going to take you through some of the questions as examples to help you respond to the questions. I'm going to start with a very simple one, and this is at 2.3. At 2.3, it's asking for your driver's license. Let's assume you were involved in an auto accident, for example. And they want to know that at the time of the incident, that means at the time of the accident, did you have a driver's license? And that first question is going to be answered yes or no. Now that question then has subcategories. It has subcategories of A, B, C, and D. Each of those subcategories needs to be answered as well if you answered yes. So if you answered yes, I have a license, then the A is going to be name the state of the issuing entity. In other words, identify where you got your license, if you got it in California, for example. B is the license number and the type. So you're going to write the license number down, and then you're going to put the type. Most people have, for example, a C license as opposed to a commercial A license, those types of things. Item C is the date of issuance. When did you get that license? If you got it when you were 16, you want to identify that date as the issuing date. You wouldn't identify it as the date of your most recent renewal. And the last thing on that is all restrictions. For example, if you have to wear glasses, and you identify that. Now, when you answer these questions, we encourage you to do it in a digital format. In other words, do it on a computer, save it in a digital format so that you can send it to us in that same format, and we can use your responses and input them in the proper format. We don't have to retype them. That'll help us save some time and help us get your responses to the other side as quickly as possible. I'm going to go through some of the other questions that maybe are a little more difficult for a lot of people. For example, question 4.1. That talks about insurance. Now, insurance is extremely important, even if it's your own insurance, when we're not talking about the other side's insurance, because they need to know whether your medical bills have been covered by some form of insurance. They need to know that you had liability insurance. It has a direct impact on what type of damages you can recover. They need to know if you have disability income or other sources that are paying for some of the losses that you have suffered in this accident. So you want to make sure you cover all the insurances that may have applicability to your case. If you're still alive, we're not including life insurance, for example. We're just including things like car insurance, health insurance, Medicare, Medi-Cal, things of that nature. And so then you'd go down and you'd answer each question. For example, the kind of insurance. Is it health insurance? Is it automobile insurance? The address of the insurance company. You'll probably find that on your insurance forms. The name, address, and telephone number of each named insured. For example, if you're insured and your family's insured, you'd identify who's insured under that policy that's involved in this particular accident. So if you had you and a family member, you'd put both of their names on there. And then you'd go through the rest of the question. Now, some of those questions you're not going to know the answers to. That's all right. Do the best you can. Give us the most accurate responses you can provide us. Another area that seems to be somewhat difficult is the description of the injuries that one suffers. In 6.1, it asks you, did you suffer injuries? And the answer is yes or no. If the answer is yes, then you're going to answer the rest of the questions that have been marked in the 6.0 series. So if we go to 6.2, for example, identify each injury you attribute to the incident and the area of your body affected. So let's say you were involved in a rear-end collision and you suffered injuries to your neck, your low back, and your left arm. You want to make sure you first identify that you suffered an injury to your neck and then describe that injury. Did you have a sprain? Did you have whiplash? Do you have pain? Those types of things. Then you do it with the low back. Then you do it with the left arm and give us the best description you can. Now, I don't want you to exaggerate. I want you to be accurate. Give me your best description of what injury you have. It's important because these responses are going to go to the other side and they're going to be under oath. It would be as if you were testifying from the witness stand when you put these responses in your form interrogatories. So that's how important this is. It's not something to be trifled with. It's something to be accurate with. You'll be asked information about who you consulted with for physicians, where you got treatment, where you got medications, etc. All those things need to be answered as accurately as possible. If you can't remember who it was that you saw, I need your help to go find who it was. If you remember where the doctor was, but you don't remember the doctor's name, I need you to find that information out. I can't answer that, only you can. Now, another area is loss of earnings. If you were employed at the time of the accident and you could not continue to work because of the accident, I need the information concerning your loss of earnings, such as who you worked for, how much you made, how much you lost, how you calculated those losses. Again, I need your help to get these answers here because I can't do it on my own. Some of the questions will ask for documents. So if you have documents, I need you to provide those. If you have medical records that you haven't already provided us, I need you to provide those to us. If you have contracts or something of that nature that we don't have that pertains to a question, I need you to give those to us as well. Once you're done with all these responses and you have them all typed up in your computer, you need to save them and send them to us. Also, you will have with the form interrogatories a verification. This is the form that I need you to sign that says that all these responses are accurate. They are done under oath, and they can rely on these responses in determining the nature and extent of your injuries and your losses. That's what's going to help us resolve your case or better present it for you at trial. If you have any questions on how to respond to these questions, you can still give us a call or you can meet with one of our staff to go through your questions and your responses. But hopefully this video has helped you understand how to respond to the form interrogatories.